Hi, I'm Kim Wyland, and this week I am super excited to announce that I am releasing what has kind of been my secret summer project, and that is 6 archetypal character guided meditations, which are designed to help you brainstorm deeply resonant and correctly structured stories. So in this video, I'll be introing that, telling you about archetypes and how the meditations will work and how they can be used to help you discover archetypes for yourself, ways to use the meditation, how to set it up, and of course there are links down below to the actual meditations if you're interested in learning more about that or experiencing them for yourself. Hi, I am K.M. Wyland, and welcome to these Writing Archetypal Character Arcs guided meditations. In my own experience throughout my life, but also particularly in relationship to creativity and outlining and brainstorming my novels, there are 2 tools that I have found incredibly helpful for accessing the deep wisdom of my own subconscious creativity. And those are archetypes and what I call dream zoning, or what you may have heard also called active imagination or even journeying. And basically what this is an exercise in which you are just sinking as deeply as possible into your imagination and letting your subconscious tell you a story. And I dare say most writers have experienced this at one time or another. And for me, dream zoning is just facilitating that in a way where I'm doing it in a very conscious and structured way, allowing me to access its benefits whenever I want. And that is the essence and the idea and the gift that I intend these guided meditations to be, in that they allow you to take off the stress of trying to figure out your story, brainstorm your story, and instead move into a space where you can dreamstorm it, while allowing me to guide you through the structural beats with prompts and things that will help you visualize all the important parts of your story. And particularly, obviously, we're going to be accessing archetypal character arcs, and specifically these 6 archetypal life arcs, which I talk about in my book, Writing Archetypal Character Arcs, which you will find in your dashboard for this, a 25% off coupon for the ebook on my website if you haven't already read it. But you don't need to have read it to access the guided meditations. I will walk you through the entire archetype, whichever journey that you've chosen. So the archetypes, as we're going to be dealing with them, specifically deal with 6 initiatory journeys that happen throughout life. Depending on what you've chosen, perhaps all of them, you'll be going through the maiden, the hero, the queen, the king, the crone, and the mage. All of these guided meditations are between 45 minutes and 60 minutes, depending on which you've chosen. And they're all designed to help you sink in and visualize your story. I focused very much on symbolism as we walk through all of the structural beats within each of the journeys. So via that symbolism, the idea is that you're able to tap in to your own innate and instinctive understanding of archetype in a way that is truly resonant and truthful for you, while still being able to access the aesthetic and bring to life the visualization of your story, however that looks, whether it's fantasy or historical or mystery or romance or political thriller or whatever it may be. So the idea is not that you are necessarily seeing what I'm seeing or explicitly what I'm evoking in the meditation, but using it as a way to sink in even deeper into your own story, and however that archetype shows up and that symbolism manifests for you, making it as personal a journey as possible. So how to use these meditations. The simplest and most obvious way to do this is to listen to a single journey with the intent of using it as a character arc for one character in one book. And you can listen to it through the whole thing. You may then choose to listen again as many times as you want to go deeper or explore different angles. You can also choose to perhaps pause it after you've listened through the whole thing once, to go back again and pause as you reach each structural section, for example, the first plot point or the midpoint, and then just take that time to pause and really go deep and journal and outline and write on that section before progressing again. You can also listen to all 6 for a single book, since all 6 archetypes are in fact inherent within a single archetype arc, which is something that I do talk about a little bit more in my book if that's of interest. You can also take these for yourself. I think that necessarily when you are doing an archetypal journey for a character, you are accessing that archetype for yourself, and it can be very powerful. But you can also choose to do it simply for yourself, remembering a time when you felt like you yourself embodied or went through one of these archetypal arcs, or perhaps one that you feel like maybe you're going through right now or are on the cusp of going through, and that can be quite powerful. I've also included a complete transcript of every meditation so that you can then, if you choose, either just use it as easy access for referencing something rather than trying to have to find it in the audio clip. But you can also use it to switch from the subconscious dreamstorming zone into the conscious brainstorming, and use it kind of as a workbook and just go through it. All of the questions and prompts from the meditation will be there, and you can just kind of switch gears and use that either as a prompt to help you remember whatever you experienced or visualized in the meditation, but also simply as more of a workbook experience where you can just brainstorm your way through the entire arc. Now, I will say that necessarily by their very nature, archetypes are very powerful, and the experience of going deep with an archetypal journey can be very intense. So my encouragement to you would be to be aware of that and to use self-awareness and self-care in doing these journeys. If you feel in any way like there may be triggers, and you can discover whatever would be in an entire arc by looking at the beat sheets that are provided in the links in your dashboard to my website, and also in the corresponding chapters in the book, Writing Archetypal Character Arcs. You can see the entire beat sheet so you'll know whatever you're in for any given archetype, just to get a sense if there would be something that would possibly trigger you. For example, the Crone arc is an exploration of mortality and therefore death, and it does go deep. Because that is the essence and the power of archetypes, is that they're able to access these deep parts of our psyche and trigger transformation. But I would encourage you, be aware and use your own awareness of yourself and your own mental health. And if you feel like you're not in a place at any given moment where that's something that you want to encounter or experience, then maybe put it off until a time when you are ready. I would also encourage self-care afterwards to a point. What I mean by that is mostly journaling, which hopefully you're going to be doing anyway for your characters, but you may also find it helpful to just set aside some time so you yourself can integrate anything that you've experienced or encountered in these meditations. All right, so how to actually set up and do this experience for yourself. So as I say, each meditation is either between 45 minutes or 60 minutes, depending on which one you've chosen. I recommend trying to be in a distraction-free space where you can sink in as deeply as possible without distraction for the entire period of the journey. You can be in a seated position or lying down if you're not going to fall asleep. My personal recommendation, and this is my secret hack for dream zoning that I've used with great success over the years, and that is to bring in fire. And that could be that you're actually at a fireplace or a fire pit outside if that's available to you, which is fantastic. But you can also just do it with a candle. Light a candle and then focus your gaze on the flame. Let that be your point of focus. And that can be very helpful for just helping you drop even deeper into your own deep imagination, so that you're not focusing on what's around you, but you're able to just focus on the visualizations that arise for your story. So I have provided 2 versions of each of the meditations. One has some gentle background music to help you sink in even deeper. If you prefer not to use that, there is one without any music. So either you can listen to it with silence in the background, or you can create your own playlist or bring in a movie score or something that for you evokes your story and is going to help you find that space and that aesthetic that you want to be in for your own personal experience with this. And once you're there, you're just going to drop in and start dreaming, start imagining Use the prompts that I bring up to help you just see your own story. Again, the language is very symbolic. You can, choose to work with it literally, but you can also, hopefully my idea is that you're then able to use that as a reference point for how that might show up in any sort of story, in your specific story. So allow that to just rise, and just follow those visualizations wherever they may take you. There will be pauses throughout as I give you a little space to imagine your own story and let that arise without my questions interfering. And you, of course, can pause at any moment if you feel like you need more time to explore something a little more deeply. At the end of each meditation, there will be a little bit more time than there has been throughout. And just so you know, and so you're not wondering, like, is it over? At the end of every meditation, I will say, this journey is now complete. Thank you. And then offer an encouragement for you to go and journal whatever you've come up with. So when that happens, you'll know that the journey is at an end. And up until that point, you can just relax and stay in the dream zone. So I hope that you find these archetypal journeys as incredibly powerful and exciting and transformative as I have for myself, and also as a storytelling tool. So I wish you all the best. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or you want to share your experiences, I would love to hear that. And yeah, happy adventures. All right, so if you're interested in trying the archetypal character meditations for yourself, you can purchase each of them individually. The maiden, the hero, the queen, the king, which I will tell you is 100% my favorite of the 6 of them, the crone, and the mage. But I'm also offering them in a bundle with all 6 at 20% off, which means that you get 1 free. So you can find links for that down below, along with way more information. Leave me a note if you have any questions, and I will see you again next week.